Hey Geography peeps, so I kind of wanted to talk about this topic because it kind of comes up a lot from you guys on social media. One of the questions I get the most is, Barbie, where are you from? What's your ethnicity? To which I typically respond, okay, what do you think? What's your guess? I've gotten everything from like Polynesian to Central Asian, Kazakh, I've gotten Latino, I've gotten like Mediterranean. So I'm just gonna lay it all out. The unofficial term for someone like me is a Hapa, or a half Asian. The word Hapa is actually derived from the Hawaiian word for half. Some other notable YouTubers that are Hapas include Ingrid Nilsson, Sam Shui, Kina Granis, and my fellow half Korean Hapa homeboy, Markiplier. However, sometimes when I tell people that I'm half Korean, they go, oh wow! So are you North or South? And for me, it's kind of mind-boggling that that's even a question, but some people genuinely don't even know about the deal about North and South Korea. So let me just tell you straight up, I would venture to say that about 98.34% of the people that you meet in this world that claim to be Korean are most likely going to be South Korean. And why is that? Because unless if they have specific permission from the government, or unless if they are an escapee, North Koreans are not allowed to leave North Korea. And here's the thing, all Koreans, North or South, are all ethnically Korean. However, after 6 decades of separation, the cultures have diverged quite drastically. So in this video, I'm going to try my best to explain the differences between North and South Koreans in a very plain, simplistic, objective format, using facts and statistics and not, subjective biases, because we all know how easy that can get. So let's jump in. Number 1, political ideology. This is probably the biggest difference between the two countries. The closest thing that I can compare it to would probably be like mainland China versus Taiwan. Ethnically, they're all the same, but they differ greatly on government. And the simplest way I can put this, North Korea is all under Kim Jong-un. Nobody can oppose him. He has all authority. South Korea is a constitutional republic that operates with a president, prime minister, national assembly, and chief justice that can kind of keep themselves in check. Why is this? Well, long story short, the Korean War, things got ugly, and now we have two Koreas that act completely different. Number 2, culture. Now that's where things get a little bit more clear cut. North Korea is interesting because it's kind of like in a time warp. I mean, just look at the way how they build their cities. Although I will admit they do kind of embellish their metro system very well, which also acts as a nuclear bomb shelter. In a nutshell, after the Korean War, Russia kind of influenced the North and the US kind of influenced the South. North Korea, I will say, probably does a little bit better of a job in maintaining the traditional Korean customs and mannerisms of what it probably used to look like before the Western world came in. It's not uncommon to see the traditional hanbok dress worn regularly every day by women, whereas in the South you would probably only see it on a holiday or in a wedding. They have completely different schooling systems. Children in the North are taught to praise and honor their dear leaders, the Kims, every single day and pay tribute to them. Nearly every classroom, office, and household in the entire country has a picture of Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, while the South likes to play StarCraft and Lineage while checking their cacao and buying groceries on their smartphones and Tango video chatting their relatives in Vancouver. And that's the other thing, North Korea is incredibly restrictive. No international calls, no outside music or media, no driving unless you are a government official, no jeans or short skirts, and their computers have an incredibly limited state-monitored intranet that only allows certain sites that the government approves of. Because the North has been so closed off from the rest of the world, there hasn't really been much of a huge culture shift. Things were just kind of left as they were, untouched for a long time. Which brings us to the next part, language. Now, both North and South Korea speak Korean and they can kind of generally understand each other. However, over 6 decades, South Korea has gained a whole new volume of Western influenced loanwords, which can kind of sometimes make communication difficult. For example, in South Korea, ice cream is ice cream, but in North Korea, it's 얼음 과자, which translates to something like ice sweet snack. In South Korea, juice is juice. However, in North Korea, it's 과일 단문, which literally translates to fruit sweet water. It's kind of funny because South Koreans will say it's kind of like talking to somebody from the 60s. A lot of North Korean words are untouched from outside influence, so in a weird sense, it's kind of like they speak a little bit more of a pure version of Korean. It's kind of like how Icelandic is closer to ancient Norse than the other Scandinavian languages. So anyway, those are just kind of like the key differences that I wanted to highlight. Both Koreas are basically the same in terms of ethnicity, language, and historical heritage. It's just, one of them decides to close off and the other one is a booming, economically innovative world superpower. Funny how culture can develop that way. Speaking of which, remember that time I suggested an audiobook to you guys on Audible, Understanding Cultural and Human Geography by The Great Courses? Well, guess what? The Great Courses Plus reached out to Geography Now and they want to help out. That's great. I love those guys. Therefore, I have to recommend checking them out. The Great Courses Plus has access to over 7,000 video lectures and courses taught by highly accredited professionals and professors. Science, math, history, how to cook, how to play chess, photography, and yes, even geography. The best part is no tests and no homework. You just learn. And I know how smart you guys are. You guys take education very seriously, or at least I assume most of you do, because you know, you watch this channel. So you can get a free 1-month trial by going to this website right here, thegreatcoursesplus.com/geography. I'll put a link in the description so you can click on it. Or you can just sign up for a plan that has really great rates. It's basically like college at your fingertips. It's fun. Thanks, Great Courses Plus. You rock. So with that being said, thank you for watching this video about me kind of explaining a little bit more about my heritage. I guess it's kind of like a preview of the Korea episodes, which are going to be really fun to make. But in the meantime, I have a lot of research and editing to do. So much work, so little time. So I guess stay cool, stay tuned.